Hey everybody. Yeah, well, as you can see I'm inside again. I started out outside. I went out to one of the parks and took some pictures of the can, started to do the review, and fortunately I hadn't opened the can or anything, and all of a sudden the message popped up, low battery, and it shut itself off. That shouldn't be, because I charged it up, and I did one review yesterday, and wouldn't think I did. I thought I had like 400 and some minutes left on the battery, but apparently not. So the pictures you'll see of the can were taken where I was, but I'm somewhere else. I've got the camera plugged in now. But today I'm going to do another one from the Great River Brewery in the Quad Cities. It says Quad Cities, USA. That's Iowa and Illinois over on the Mississippi River. From Great River Brewery, I'm going to do their Farmer Brown Ale. On the can it says legendary craft brews made in the Quad Cities. These days people are more concerned about the food and drink they're consuming, what's in it, and what the origins might be. For our Farmer Brown Ale, we use honest, wholesome ingredients. Really? In a beer? Like two-row barley and dark crystal, chocolate and biscuit malt from people we know and trust. The result is robust, rich, and nutty. The result is robust, rich, and nutty brown ale, dominated by a complex malt flavor. I think they need an A in there somewhere. From the website, it says this nut brown ale is mildly hopped to allow dark crystal, chocolate, and biscuit malt to dominate the flavor of this malt brew. A robust, rich, and nutty ale dominated by true malt flavor. 7% ABV, 22 IBUs. 16-ounce can. That's one thing I like about them. Going to use my Samuel Smith's nutty glass here. So let's get this beer in the glass and see what we've got. Yeah, we even had a little sun today. It's mostly cloudy, but we had some sun peeking through for a minute while I was out there. So it's turned out to be a nice day if my camera hadn't crapped out on me. Oh yeah, get that all in there. That's a good pour. We got a dark, almost black. Holding up the light, nothing. Poured like a dark brown. Got a tan head, finger of a tan, really creamy looking head. I'm gonna shut this off for a minute. Sorry about that. I needed some light, but anyway, yeah, it's a dark brown beer, almost black. Let me get a little closer to the camera. Let me get a nose on it. This review is not very good, but oh well. Kind of disjointed, but shit happens. Okay, I'm getting some cocoa, some nuttiness, almost like almonds. Really rich malt flavor to this. Little hints of some coffee and toffee in there, and I can tell it's going to be a sweet malty beer though, with some light coffee and almost like a bittersweet cocoa. Almost smells like there might be a little like sweet milk chocolate in there too, but it's mostly the cocoa and kind of a bittersweet cocoa. There's a light, almost smokiness to it, almost like charcoal, like maybe like campfire or something like that. Yeah, just maybe a little brown sugar, but this is definitely going to be a sweet malty beer, that's for sure. So let's get a taste. Okay, yeah, at first, yeah, it's a sweet beer. Yeah, you got a lot of sweetiness. It's chocolate's almost like fudge-like there right in the beginning, and then it kind of kicks into a little darker, drier bitterness to it. Those cocoa notes coming out a little bit. Yeah, it's a darker, definitely darker, kind of a semi-sweet, slightly bitter cocoa note to it. A little more of those caramel, like light coffee notes kind of creep in there too. Coffee is sort of like a adding a little slight bitterness to it, like a dark bitter coffee roast. There's some toasty biscuit notes in there. Maybe just a hint of like some dark fruits, like primarily raisin, I think. Maybe some plums and black cherries kind of creep in, but they're pretty light. It's mostly the cocoa. I'm not really getting that sweet chocolate anymore. It's mostly that lightly bitter cocoa and lightly bitter roasty coffee notes. Just a little bit of almost like a molasses sweetness kicking in. So despite that slight bitterness of some of those flavors, this is still primarily a sweeter, maltier beer, that's for sure. There are maybe some light herbal, leafy hop bitterness in there, just kind of towards the finish. It's like a medium-bodied beer, maybe just a touch under medium-bodied, but it's got a long, really long malty finish. It's got a really nice, mellow, smooth, understated carbonation there that makes it maybe seem a little thicker than it, a little fuller in the mouthfeel than it actually is, but there's a slight, like grainy, starchy note in there too, but that mostly it's that cocoa and those dark malts, and I'm not really getting those smoky notes that I got on the nose so much. More like a darker, roastier. Coffee note, I think, is primarily what that was. Maybe I mistook that for a smokiness there on the nose, but really a nice tasting beer. So let me sit and sip on this for a while, and I'll come back in a while with the final thoughts and grade. Okay, I'm back. It's only been 20 minutes or so. I'm back to the Louisiana Tech Illinois game. And not much of a game. Illinois is kind of getting their butts kicked, although it's closer than it was. They're only down by 10. I'll tell you, this almost drinks like a porter more than a brown ale. It's got a really nice depth of flavor, and makes for a pretty decent brown ale. Something that doesn't happen very often. You know, I gotta say, brown ales are not a style that I'm super fond of. I've mentioned that on several occasions, and it's hard to find one I like, but this is pretty solid. This is nice. It's nice complexity as well as being pretty easy drinking. I never mentioned the alcohol. I'm not getting that at all on this. Just a really decent solid drinking beer. So I'm going to give the Farmer Brown Ale from Great River Brewery out of the Quad Cities here in Iowa and Illinois, I'm going to give it a good solid 8.5 out of 10. Decent drinkable beer. Certainly one of the better brown ales I've ever had. So 8.5 out of 10. So till next time, everybody, cheers. Let's keep drinking good beers.